said this week. Hey, Miss Dion.
Hi, hi, hi. Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. You know it's today, Water Cooler Wednesday.
Yes,
Best day of
another
the
one.
week.
The best day. We're right in the smack dead in the middle of the week, so we could get you over that hump and take
That's
you to
right.
finish off that week. So you went to work, you did all the stuff, stressful stuff during the earlier in the day. Now it's time to enjoy some information from us, right?
Yes, it's that time.
All right. Well, my name is Dion Branch, and I am with EXP Realty, and my team name is called Allure Dream Homes. And we're excited to be here with you today to discuss the
Tips for 2025.
thank you, because I went blank. Like, no.
I wasn't going to bring that up. We was just going, kind of skate past that. Nobody
Yeah,
needed to know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, tips for 2025. What do you need to do to be prepared, right?
Yes.
So we're wrapping up the end of this year. We're
That's so
gonna head
quick.
on into Christmas and quickly go right into the new year. So everybody's been waiting to buy and sell their property, and so 2025 is most likely going to be your year. So let us tell
Your
you how to
year.
do it, right?
That's right. That's
So
right.
let's tell you what to do. With me is Lisa, House
Lisa.
Money Mama.
Yep, Lisa J. I'm here with Nexa Mortgage, where brokers are better. We're here. We work for you.
Yes. All right, so we're going to start off with the sellers today. So
Okay.
the market has been low on homes, and so that is a lot of people haven't really been selling their homes this in 2024, and it's projected that more people are going to go ahead and bring their property onto the market in 2025. So we
Okay.
really hope so, because we need an increase of property values. So if you're thinking about selling in 2025, what do you need to do? So the first thing you need to do is contact someone like myself, a agent. Just
Yeah.
contact me, right? And so I can provide you what's called a market analysis. And with the market analysis, what I'm doing is very similar to what an appraiser would do: is look at properties that have sold or currently on the market at the time, and we're going to determine like what's we could sell your home for. So what is the
Hmm.
value of your home? So now when you're getting ready to sell, you'll know. Okay. And with this market analysis, we're also going to talk about when I come to view your house, it's important during that time that I do a tour of your home, so we can make some suggestions as far as renovations, right?
Okay. Hmm.
hmm So a lot of times, people like, should I redo my whole kitchen? I'm gonna add on another bath. Right. If you're planning on selling, it's most likely you shouldn't do any large renovations at this
Yeah.
time, unless you do a flipper. Right. Flipper plans on purchasing property for low and making all renovations for them to sell. But you might have been in your home for 25, 30 years, and
Yeah.
you've been maintaining your home,
Hmm.
or maybe not have enough money to do things that you need to do. So I walk through with you. We have conversation about what are some things that we could do in order to make sure that your house will sell. This is where you determine: do you sell it as is, or do you do a little updates to certain areas, and maybe not to do a large update, or will you get the value if you did do a large update? Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, we might talk about staging, right? A lot of people have a lot of items in their home. And so sometimes you might need to take those items out, because if you in your house, it's your house. You got
What?
extra racks and closets, things
I
like.
can't keep my golden donkey in the front room.
No, right. Maybe people don't like that, right? Like, and you don't want to, you might like 5 couches in your living room, right? But we're trying to sell your house. So we just
Yeah.
want 2 couches in the living room so it can look spacious and people welcoming and
Yeah.
people not trying to imagine if their stuff is in here because your stuff is so packed in that they can't really actually see the house. So
Right.
we want to make
Right.
sure that people could actually see your home. And so I will kindly come in and do some suggestions for you as far as how we can take things out, maybe put them in storage for when you're getting ready to for your purchase, of your next home.
Okay.
All right, my chair went down. Um,
Uh-oh.
Timing. When's the best time to sell? Right. So
Okay.
we'll discuss some timing. Like I mentioned earlier, there wasn't a lot of homes on the market last year, this year, and so uh, whereas normally the season is a lot of people wait till the spring to put their property on the market, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of buyers that are still out here looking. So where some of the traditional timing may not apply for 2025. Everyone's just looking
And you
for
know
a good
what? What I think about that personally is that when you have people who are still in the market and it's wintertime, I think they're more serious.
home.
I think
Yeah,
they're the more serious buyers. They're the more relentless buyers. They are determined to buy a house.
yeah, yeah. So and that's the thing. So we'll discuss that. We'll discuss what the timing is.
Hmm.
The other thing you should do while you're preparing for 2025 is get all these documents together, right? All the documents that you're gonna need. Lisa's gonna tell you in a little while. She get all in your business. So you're gonna buy. You're gonna need those documents, and then
Yeah, that's true.
when you're selling, you might own your home, so you need the title of your home. You need any
Hmm.
home warranties that you may have, or so you might have a whole home warranty, or you might have just purchased a new refrigerator that has a warranty. The stove has a warranty. Do you have
Yeah.
the booklets for your new refrigerator? Your
I got
booklets
all my stuff in my junk drawer.
Right, right. And buyers are excited when you have those. They like, oh, they have all this. They're excited to have those things. So
Yeah.
if you have them, go around, gather them all together, and then we're putting your house on the market, we'll set them out there nicely displayed. Like, see, we have everything for you right here. Even right, and even your maintenance records, right? Because your agent needs to know how old is your roof, how old is the furnace, how old is the central air unit. All those
Hmm.
different things are important when pricing your home and determining your value as well.
Yep,
And
that's
the
true.
last thing is make sure you leverage a professional team, right? So, as the team leader of Allure Dream Home, I'm here for you. We do professional photography. We plan for virtual tours. We
Mhm.
allow that to take place in your home, and then we also do targeted advertisement. So you definitely want a team that's gonna sell your home. All
Okay.
right.
You all sound pretty fancy dancy over there.
Because we want to sell these houses.
She said, "We gonna sell this house."
Exactly. In the
Okay,
in
whatever
the
it
first
takes.
7 days on the market, we gonna sell your house. So
And while you selling, I'm gonna get you somebody that can buy
mhm,
it.
exactly, exactly. And you're gonna take my seller because my seller is gonna actually buy a new home. They're gonna upgrade, or
Hmm.
maybe they're
Or
gonna
downgrade. Yeah,
downsize.
sometimes.
Right? Yeah. So Lisa's gonna tell you what you need to do on the buyer side.
Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about that now. So there are just a few things that I think are important to keep in mind when you're looking at doing a purchase. And, a lot of times you hear us say this, but we really can't say it enough, which is that it is so important to prepare. The sooner that you prepare for what you plan to do, when you complete your purchase, the easier and smoother your transaction can be. Because a lot of times people have horror stories that we've heard, from other lenders and other realtors and things like that. We've heard those horror stories, but to be real honest with you, some of those horror stories probably could have been avoided if the buyer had been better prepared. You
Right.
know, having things that you would need, not having to look for documents. You up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning trying to find that last document.
Right.
But if
Right.
you had already prepared and, followed the advice that we give as far as getting these things together ahead of time, then it cuts down. Nobody wants to invite stress into their life. so, so we want to help you to be able to eliminate or reduce some of that. So one of the things to keep in mind is that, like how Dion had talked about, you do want to make sure your financial documents are in order. So, for example, usually for those who are self-employed, we're going to need tax returns. But even if you're not self-employed, for somebody who's like a W-2 employee, we need those. A lot of times that's what prevents me from issuing a pre-qualification, is because people don't have those kind of documents. I say, hey, I get in your business. These are the things I'm going to need. I need an unexpired government issued photo ID. I'm going to need your last 2 bank statements, your last 30 days worth of paycheck stubs. I'm going to need your social security card. You'd be surprised to know how many people don't know where their social security card is. You would be surprised.
Yeah.
But
I have
all these
one
different
for
kind
my
of things
kids.
they're necessary. They're necessary. It's not just the house money mama thing. Any loan officer that's doing their job is going to ask you for these documents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to start getting things like that together ahead of time, or at least to have a system maybe organized so you know where things are, and it just makes things easier for you for when you do need them. That would be the first thing I would suggest: organize your financial documents. The next thing I would say would be keep in mind that I look at ratios when I'm completing an application. You guys know my nerdy CIA thing. So, but that is what I evaluate: CIA, which stands for credit, income, and assets. And so, in doing that, I'm going to be calculating some ratios. The reason why I look at debt and I look at income is because I calculate a debt to income ratio. So, in order to know what that is, and whether or not you are in the parameters of the loan, it's good to know, one, a lower DTI, a lower debt to income ratio, is going to give you the higher credit score. That's one thing. And also good utilization is going to give you a higher credit score, but it's also going to give you more house that you can buy. So when you have a lower debt to income ratio, you can actually afford to buy more house. So that might be the difference for you between a $250,000 house and a $325,000 house, having a lower debt to income ratio because you've maybe paid down debt, or different things like that. Maybe some stuff that shouldn't have been in your name is out of your name, or maybe you paid something down so it's below 10 payments. It could be a lot of different things that it could be that you would do in order to get your debt to income ratio in order. The other thing that I've seen, so that was the second thing, you can reduce debt, but the other thing that I've seen is that people will make really large purchases right before they're getting ready to buy a house. That's a no-no.
No. Right.
That's a no-no.
And the way these car prices are going,
Oh my goodness.
please don't go buy a car before you
Please
get
do
to
not
buy
buy
a
a
house.
car. Right.
Right.
I was just talking with somebody earlier today, and he was telling me that he's in a loaner car, and he was talking about how this has got to be like $100,000 car. $100,000 what? I would not want to see the car note on that.
Right. Don't do it. Don't do it. And because I've had a couple of clients in the past who were interested in purchasing a house, and then they ended up not being able to purchase because they're driving these luxury
Yeah.
cars.
Yep.
So I don't want you to live in your car.
Right. We want you to live in a house, right?
Right? We want you to live in your house. And so yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Just don't do that. Or if you're going to do it, wait until after you buy your house to do it. Actually,
Yeah.
you'll probably be more qualified when you have a house first, because they're going to look at you as being more responsible and stable.
Yeah.
So definitely stay away from the large purchases. Another thing to keep in mind, this one is a little dicey. So when you think about your income, we are looking for a 2-year history. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on the same job, but when you're in closer to actually purchasing the home, that is not a good time to change jobs, especially not a good time to change careers, but it's still not even a good time to change jobs. It's not a good time for that because you have to establish a history of income, even with a new employer. Even if it's not a different, area like field of
Right.
expertise, but even just going from one job to another job in the same field, you still have to now establish and have paycheck stubs from the new employer.
So you
So
probably have to be on the new job at least what? At least 3 months?
no, I wouldn't necessarily say at least 3 months, but you have to have at least 30 days worth of paycheck stubs. I will say
Okay.
that. So, that could vary depending on how they pay.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know about you. When I used to work, like hourly and stuff, if I start a new job, like they pay every 2 weeks, but that first 2 weeks,
You
everybody
missed
else got paid and I didn't get
and you didn't
paid.
get paid. You're like, I know, I never understood that. I'd be like, so I don't get paid?
Right.
So I
Like, why
gotta
do I
wait.
get
I
paid?
gotta wait 4 weeks to get paid. Right, right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm,
So yeah, but you want to have at least 30 days with the pay stubs. And it's good if those pay stubs reflect what you actually would normally be getting. Because
hmm
a lot of times when you start, they'll say, oh, you only got to work 2 days this week, 3 days next week, and then you'll be, your regular full 5 days a week the
Right.
following week. So now you might have a pay stub, but
But it doesn't.
that's not reflective of what
Right.
your actual pay stub is going to typically be because you only work 2 days or 3 days. So
Yeah.
all of those kind of things make for a hard time for you, and increased stress, which, like we just talked about, we want to keep stress down as much as possible. So,
Right.
yeah, it'd be better just not to change jobs during your pre-approval process.
Or
So,
quit your job.
yes,
Period.
let's not quit jobs because we do need to have income.
I had one of those too.
Yep, yep. I remember. I do remember. Yeah. So you definitely want to make sure you still have income because I'm using that to qualify you. And if it's no longer there, you're no longer qualified.
hmm Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. The other thing I would say would have to do with your down payment. So this is still along the terms of being prepared. Excuse me. So when you think about your down payment, a lot of people don't really give this in-depth thought. They know that some kind of a down payment is going to be required, but they don't really know what it's going to be. They assume that they can do it through a down payment assistance program. That's not always the case. There are programs that a lot of people would be able to qualify for, but you do need to know the ins and outs of those programs because sometimes they're good for you, sometimes may not be so good. One depends on the program and how it's executed, because there are stipulations. Nothing is free. So let's just start with that. Remember, Mama told us when we was growing up, ain't nothing in this life free. Well, guess what? She wasn't lying. So keeping that in mind, they're not just giving you money. It's a reason behind it. And there's also something that you're going to have to do, whether that means that you're going to have an extra lien on your house for 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 years, because a lot of times the programs do work like that.
hmm
Or whether that means that you're actually paying it back as a smaller note. So there's an additional payment that's going to be on your mortgage. But there's different ways that these things are executed. Me being a lender, I've seen a variety of different programs and how they work on the back end. So I'm going to tell you right up front, how it works and what you can expect. So that way you can make the best decision. Because sometimes people are like, what do you mean? I don't want a second lien on my house. Well, that's what you're getting when you get DPA, just letting you know. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure you have those things in mind. But the
And
best
what's
thing,
GPA?
down payment assistance.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. So one of the things you want to keep in mind is that even if you don't get the down payment assistance, you still would need to have something up front. So for example, always, always, always be prepared to have your earnest money. I like my example of earnest money being like layaway.
Yeah.
So back in the day, y'all youngers don't know about this, but back in the day, we used to have layaway with Adventure and Zare and places like that. I'm dating
Kmart.
myself for real tonight.
Kmart.
So you would go pick out all this stuff that you wanted to buy and take it to the layaway counter and be like, I'm buying all this stuff. And they say, okay, but I want to put it on layaway. And they say, okay, so here's my money to let you know that I'm serious and I'm really going to come back and pay for the rest of this stuff. You're doing the same thing with the house. Earnest money is like that money that you give to let them know that you're really serious and you really want to buy the house. So you have to have that. That's not something that's covered through a down payment assistance program. Usually it's at least $1,000. Sometimes people do, what would you say, Dion? Maybe 1% of the purchase price?
Yeah, typically it's about 1% of the purchase price. But say for instance, we're in an easier market, but there's additional people that are want to purchase the same house.
Okay.
So we want to make sure our offer looks good. And so earnest money is one of those things that actually help with that. And so you maybe traditionally you might put down $1,000, but now you could put down $2,000, $3,000, and like Lisa said, show that you're serious about this
Mhm.
house. I'm a serious buyer, and I'm willing to put $3,000 down of earnest money. But
Yep.
we
That
need
makes
to
sense.
have the rest of the money for other stuff too, right?
Right.
So, and
That's true because it does, whether it's true or not, it definitely gives it the appearance to the seller that if you're willing to put down this $3,000 with no problem, then you must have the other money to be able to consummate the loan. That's probably
Mhm.
going to be their mindset, what they'll be thinking. So
Right.
yeah, totally a good move, absolutely. But in order to do that, obviously you have to be prepared. So you need to make sure you start to save those funds, put them in the bank. Don't put them in under the mattress. We can't do mattress money. So we do need the money to go in the bank, or some financial institution. Or credit union, something like that. So you do want to think about like at least 3% of what you anticipate buying, between 3 and 5% of what your purchase price would be. So like, for example, if you had a $200,000 house, you think that you would probably buy something that's around $200,000. For FHA requires 3.5%. So that would be $7,000 that you would need to have at least just sitting, so that way you are prepared for the cost that you're going to have up front, and you can continue, to get ready for the cost that you'll need to have at closing. But it's good to just think about those things right up front, so that way it doesn't come as a big surprise, and you start seeing my numbers on paper, you're like, what?
Right. Because they always do. How?
Yes. Now, a good way you could actually do that would be coming up next month. What's everybody gonna be looking forward to? Tax time. That's right. So if you're going to be getting an income tax refund, then guess what? Now you have something that can give you a jump start on being able to put your money aside for your assets, that you're going to need to use for purchasing your home. Or if you're in a position where maybe you need to pay down some debt, instead of using the money frivolously that you get from the income tax refund, use it for something, maybe pay off a couple credit cards. I wouldn't just do it on my own. I would consult with someone like myself. Consult with me. And then I can give you an idea. We can do a simulator and stuff like that. And I can give you an idea of what would be the most beneficial as far as paying down debt. Because the debt pay down does a couple of things. One, it changes your utilization, brings that lower, which should boost your credit score. And then the other thing it does is it opens up more room for you to be able to buy more house. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. Did you have anything else, Dion, for buyers?
Oh, yeah, I have a couple of things. One of the things is, so Lisa's, told you everything that you need financially in order to prepare. But this is also a good time where you can start to look at the different neighborhoods. Where do
Okay.
you want to go? Right? Like
Mhm.
this will be a good time to kind of drive through neighborhoods. Maybe go. You could go through to a couple of open houses so you could see what the different houses are. But when they ask you, let them know that you do have an agent. Her name's Dan Branch,
That's right.
right? So they will ask you. But this is a good time. You can contact me. I can start to create searches for you so you can just kind of look at the different properties that are on the market. So then when you're ready, you know, oh, I really like Alsop. I really like Homewood. I like Frankfurt area. And you know
Mhm.
why you like those areas because,
Yeah.
right, especially when you have children and looking at schools, that's important to know what school system your kids are going to go to. So
I
check
don't care what school to go to as long as you get out of my house. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
check
I'm
out
just
your
saying.
neighborhood so you know what's going on. The other thing is 2025, we're talking about there less homes on the market in 2024. There's going to be some competition. Like we told you all last year, buy in 2024 because when 2025 comes and everybody starts to put their house on the market, now
Yeah.
the competition is going to come. So everybody's been waiting now. Everybody wants to buy at the same time.
True.
But so there's going to be some competition. And that's where we're going to have to use some of our little tricks of negotiating in order to make sure that you can get into the house that you want. We talked about earnest money, showing that you're a serious buyer. We
Hmm.
might have to offer over asking price. These are the things that increase the value of other homes that are going on sale later on as well. So it works out for everybody. And then, the last thing is trust your team. We're
Yeah.
here. Lisa and I are here for you. We're here to help you through all of the transaction. We love to hold your hand and make sure that you feel secure about what you're doing, and we're here for you.
That is a great place to wrap up.
All right, all right. We're so glad to come to you all every Wednesday and
Er
discuss these,
Wednesday.
right? To discuss all the things you need to know about buying and selling your home. So, you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And Lisa, you want to get pre-approved? Contact Lisa by the number below, and she will be able to get you started on your pre-approval process.
Yes, I
Uh,
will.
right. Want me to set up a search for you for your property so that you can see where you want to go next year? Give me a call. We can talk about it. We can start making a plan for you as far as what you need to do in order to purchase the home. So Lisa and I are both here for you so we could be ready for you. You could be ready in 2025.
In 2025, it's going down.
It's going down. All
Thank you,
right.
everybody, for joining us this week. It's always so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you.